Constantly shifting through the time-space continuum, Metron's three disciples observe the universe from the Mobius Couch.
Heavy boots of lead fills his victims full of dread. Running as fast as they can, Iron Man lives in the Mobius Couch, a time-space interdimensional vehicle from which your three hosts talk about NBA playoff basketball.
Wait,
we are in it. There was a game.
That's what we call it.
There was a game just tonight where a team won a hotly contested match out there on the basketball pitch, and it was exciting. Pat, Joe, how are you? Are you enjoying the basketball?
I mean, you might as well. You hit the nail on the head with basketball pitch and match.
That's where they play it. Yeah, that's how they get those. That's how they make those 3-point touchdown shots.
There's this line in an old Beastie Boys album where there's this weird recording of them making a strange voice player, and it goes, "I wish there was some way I could play basketball in the rain and not get wet. Wouldn't that be great?" And that's it. It's stuck in my brain for all of time.
Yeah. Well, before we get into
I love basketball because of Beastie Boys.
Yeah, but before we get into the basketball, wait, let me check the dials, because the couch is an interdimensional vehicle. And maybe
is this
let me just press beep boop, beep boop, 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 boop. The Mobius Couch, a time-space interdimensional vehicle for which your three hosts talk about comic books. Comics.
It's good, because I don't know anything about sports things.
Yeah, we don't talk about playoff basketball. We talk about comics here. Your three hosts, as usual, are me. I'm Alessandro, and I'm joined by Patrick.
That's me. I'm Patrick. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Pat. And Joe. Hey, Joe.
Oh, hey. Hey, Al.
Hey. What's everybody doing?
What's going on, boys?
Doing great.
How's life? How's life treating
Life's
you?
good. Actually, we are in the middle of the NBA playoffs,
great.
and it is pretty exciting.
Don't care about that at all. Also, we changed the
San Antonio Spurs are back.
I know more about the WNBA than I do about the NBA somehow. Like that comes up on my social media feeds way more than.
I am excited about the World Cup, even though we're in a place where I don't feel like people should be safe coming here to see the World Cup.
Probably not.
Well, yeah, it is a strange idea to have the World Cup spread across the entire United States and Canada or whatever. But I guess
I think it's all. I think it's all of North America, but
all of North America, right? It's kind of seems like a lot, but hey, why not? It's fine.
Why not?
Yeah, you'd only have instead of going to like one place and the tourists go there, and there's like 2 or 3 stadiums to travel between. You'd need to pick one place and maybe see 2 games.
With it.
Yeah.
Just
and also we picked
all over the goddamn place and spend $1 jillion.
Yeah, and we picked a nice clump of American cities like New York and Boston, where the stadiums are very far from the city center and complicated to get to. So I'm sure it will work out.
Not Atlanta.
Great.
You can land at Hartsfield International and drive about 30 minutes. And
I'm talking about Gillette. Talking about Gillette Stadium up here in Bath.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You can see 4 or 5 of the games, I think.
Okay. Time out.
Oh, Civil War. Sorry.
We're talking about comics. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're continuing. If you, of course, listen to the podcast, and if you don't, please take time to like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Watch us on YouTube. Anywhere you can watch content or listen to podcasts, we're there. So
by the way,
subscribe
if
to the
you're
Mobius
not
Couch.
watching on YouTube right now and you're listening to this as a podcast, I highly suggest you stop, go watch it on YouTube, because you'll get to see Alessandro in a sexy robe.
Well, I happen
with just a little bit of chest hair popping out. I mean, just a little bit,
I happen to be at a hotel.
Exit time here on the Mobius Couch tonight.
I happen to be at a hotel and I just took a warm shower and I'm relaxing in a bathrobe. That's not a crime. As far as I'm aware,
it's not a crime at all. I'm suggesting people come check it out.
It's a lifestyle.
Okay, it is a lifestyle. Okay, so we are going to be talking about, as I mentioned, like and subscribe, all of that. If you already like and subscribe, you'll know that up to date, we have recently discussed Avengers Disassembled, and then House of M, And then we did not talk about Decimation, but that was kind of a non-crossover event that went over the wreckage of House of M. And the next big Marvel crossover event in line in these mid-2000s, I think it's sort of 2006, but we'll get in a second, is Civil War. So tonight we're going to talk about Civil War, which was a big hit, although it was pretty controversial with fans, but what it did was move units. This sold made dollars, which is what Daddy Marvel loves from his kids, right? He loves making that money. But it was a little bit controversial for reasons, I mean, we'll get to as we talk about these issues. This was pitting heroes against each other. This wasn't fighting Doctor Doom or Wanda's ghosts. This was hero against hero in an ideological battle, which split the Marvel world apart. Because, we'll get into the details, but overarching arc, Iron Man is on the side of the government trying to register and control superheroes, and Captain America is on the side of superheroes who don't want that, who want to still be vigilantes and kind of act extra legally and not be government tools. Helming this whole project, very fittingly, coming off of his work on the Ultimates, which goes over some of these themes, and other Ultimate Universe titles, is Mark Millar, Scotland's own Marky Mill, Scotland's own Mark Millar.
Yes.
Art by Steve McNiven, who also works a lot with Mark Millar outside of this, and colors by Maury Hollowell. But that's it. That's kind of overall what we're going to be talking about today. Are you all ready to talk about the Civil War?
Oh yeah.
I'm ready.
Sounds like you are.
So we can do, I guess I don't have a lot. There's not a lot of background research. This was just pretty straightforward. Marvel wanted to do this crossover, and they wanted to bring Mark Millar off of the Ultimates line and do a mainline event, and then they kind of did it. Mark Millar is, I don't know if the listeners aren't aware, he was big on a lot of, he started kind of on
Millar,
the Authority.
Come on.
Is it Millar? Oh,
Millar.
I don't remember. Whatever.
Come on, bud.
Okay. But he got big originally on an Authority run, and then did Ultimate Universe stuff, and then Civil War, and lots of other Marvel properties. Didn't he do Old Man Logan? I know McNiven drew it, but I think Millar wrote Old Man Logan as well.
I don't know for sure.
But
he's done tons
so
of
he.
indie stuff, right? Like
Done. Well, he has his own Millar verse, like this kind of production unit of his own, which is like the Kick-Ass universe, the Drops of Jupiter, whatever that one is. With
Drops of Jupiter.
It's something. Jupiter Rising. No, that's not even it. Sons of Jupiter.
Jupiter Rising is a bad movie with.
Is it Sons of Jupiter? It's something like that, but it's not. Drops of Jupiter is a train song, but.
It's Jupiter something.
Jupiter.
Jupiter Circle.
Jupiter.
I think
Circle?
it's Jupiter Circle.
That can't be right.
All right, pause this. I've got to find out what it is.
He did do Old Man Logan.
Jupiter's Legacy. We got there. Jupiter's Legacy. Okay.
That's it.
And Wanted, which was a whole other thing.
Oh, yeah.
Kingsman.
Yeah,
Kingsman is a Mark Millar.
Yeah.
That's a Millarverse thing. He's all over.
What is this guy's net worth? See how much comic books pay.
Yeah.
Between 25 to 75 million.
Well, that's a big range.
Good job.
That's quite a range. But,
I don't care. Good job.
That's
Good
about
job,
25 million times what I'm worth.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Good.
But so that's the creative team, and McNiven also is just has done a bunch of he did a lot of Marvel Knights mainly work, and then Marvel work like Old Man Logan we mentioned. But so they were the creative team for this event, and that's kind of the background of it. Let's do Joe. Do you want? Oh, I think the mid 2000s is if it wasn't Civil War specifically, this was his time. For sure. Yeah. But let's do quick, Joe. Do you want to start with just a quick overall take before we head into issue 1 and all that?
Sure. I haven't reread this in a long time, so it was refreshing. It holds up pretty well. I think they do a good job of playing both sides of the coin, so to speak. So you can kind of like you actually can kind of decide which one you sort of believe in. There's not a clear, very clear right or wrong necessarily until like later on in the run. I think it gets a little more like not so much Iron Man, but like, you know, like you can sort of go like, I can see where he's coming from. I can see where Cap's coming from in terms of Tony and Cap. So that's pretty fun. The art's fantastic. I love McNiven. I don't know, like stylistically, he's got just a very specific look, which I enjoy. But I mean, I can also understand why some people might be like, not really, you know, kind of thing. So I mean, you know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But I think he's pretty solid all around. He has the ability to draw a big book like this because, you know, I think this is an important thing with a comic book artist in terms of like doing a big group book is that you can kind of do everyone and they all look distinct from each other instead of just like generic guy in tights times 1,000 or whatever. But he does a good job with that, and he's really detailed, and I like his work. And a lot of the action scenes are pretty dynamic, so I think he's got a lot going on art wise. I guess I like the writing overall. Millar does a good job. It's a big book, but it's also, I kind of like the pacing of it. Like you've got enough time to kind of like live in the moment with like what's going on before it moves on really quickly to the next thing. Like a lot of these big crossover events do kind of fall by the wayside with the details, and they kind of expect you to read all the side books to get that feeling versus like getting it in the main run. And I think you kind of get it here. I don't know. I think I liked it overall. Patrick?
Okay. Well, first point, it's the X-Men are like not in this book, and it's really funny how when you remove the entire X-Men universe, like how kind of like not boring, but like they really stretch for characters with like trying to pick up numbers.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people I'm like, who are these people?
They're like Nighthawk's talking, and you're like, Nighthawk?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Like why does he have lines? Yeah. Like what is going on? Right.
I think the premise is really interesting. So I haven't read this since it first came out, and my opinion is still the same, but it's just like heightened. I think the premise is interesting. I think the art's great. Pacing was great. I fucking hate the ending. I hate how they ended it. It makes no sense at all. And I think I just hate it more as an adult because I really feel like Iron Man's team is like in the wrong. And I actually have the hardcover deluxe where they kind of talk about it, and they didn't know how it was going to end when they started writing it. And Joss Whedon is the one who came into the writer's room, and he was like, well, you can't, the original idea was like to have some other crisis happen and the heroes like coalesce together, which also like, I get why they didn't go that
would have been kind of cool though.
Yeah, but it's still kind of like a cop-out, I guess. Joss was like, someone has to win. Like, it's a war, someone has to win. So they did this compromise where it was like Captain America's team won the actual battle, like physically, but Iron Man's team like won the war ideologically. And I disagree with that whole, like, the entire fucking run is like, it's so obvious after the first few issues. I'm on the same page as Joe, where it's like a little bit, I can see Iron Man's point, but like the way they go about it, the Registration Act passes within like a week. Like they like not enough time was put into this. Anyone with superpowers has to register with the fucking register. Like, and I think we know from history, like it's kind of bad for a minority group to like have to register with the fucking government and give them all their information. And like, I know the X-Men are not currently participating in the Civil War. They have to.
Can't be superheroes anymore.
No, Joe, they have to register. If they don't register, they are thrown into the fucking negative zone. If they register, they do not have to be active SHIELD agents. But if you have superpowers, you have to register with the government. And also, like, again, mutants are like a persecuted minority at this point.
Go ahead.
And it's also like, you really think if I have a weird superpower and I register with the government and the government thinks they can use my power for something specific, they're not going to find a way to force me into using my powers to do like it. Like, I just hate the whole premise of the law in general. The negative zone is where you go if you refuse to register. Like, you're a superhero, and if you don't register, you go to the fucking negative zone. That's where you built the prison. That's what you fucking decided. Like, that's fucking insane.
Idea number 42.
They're creating a super soldier army for the government. Tony, Hank, and Reed, by the way, are the ones on the pro registration side that are doing this. They fucking cloned Thor. He fucking killed somebody.
Okay, Patrick, I feel like we're getting a little in the weeds.
No.
Why don't we save some of that for the issues?
Nope.
But okay.
I'm sorry. These are spoilers.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm
no, go off, King.
I'm getting off my chest now.
Go for it. Yep.
They clone Thor. He fucking kills somebody, and instead of being like, "Hey, that was a bad fucking idea," they're like, "Hey, let's just rewire his brain again and try it again."
They just double down.
Yeah, they double down. Okay, that's fucking crazy. Reed, there's an issue where Reed is like super stoked about all the ideas Tony and Hank have regarding how to capture and imprison their friends. Reed is like super stoked about this. He's never been more excited about anything in his fucking life. Stark Enterprises.
Reed's a super villain, by the way.
Yeah.
Making him the Maker in the Ultimate Universe is the best thing they ever did.
What's the difference? It's just
I know.
What's the difference?
All right, sorry, go ahead.
Stark Enterprises and Fantastic Four Incorporated received no bid contracts for $2 billion to develop their fucking prison in the negative zone, which increased Tony and Reed's wealth by billions. So that's cool.
But I mean, $2 billion these days, that's really not much.
That's nothing.
But I mean, $2 billion is a highway.
It's $2 billion.
They run out of superheroes, so they start recruiting all the fucking super villains. Iron Man threatens Spider-Man, basically saying like, "Hey, if you go to Cap Side, like Mary Jane and Aunt May are, going to be thrown into the negative zone." So that's cool. And then Reed, my final thing was Spider-Man asked Reed, he's like, "Why are you doing this?" And Reed says, "Spider-Man, it's because without law, we're savages, and this is the law, and we need to follow it." And Peter's like, "Well, what if the law is wrong?" And Reed's like, "Well, then we just, reverse the law through like diplomacy." And I'm like, Reed, the law is 48 hours old. Like, you guys just made up this thing 2 fucking days ago. This doesn't make any sense. So anyways,
it's literally 24 hours later and they're just shooting Patriot in the back. And he's helping people.
Yeah, that's I just so all those reasons. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but if we had gone issue by issue, I would have forgotten all this shit. The pro registration team is the evil team, and they win at the end. And
it's very quickly.
No fucking sense. It makes no sense.
They win at the end because Cap gives up.
Yeah, but Damien, the mom who spear leads this thing, her son's name was Damien. Why did you choose Damien as his name? I mean, Damien's a super cool name, but at the same time, it's like everyone thinks of Damien from The Omen. Also, she was like giving Erica Kirk vibes to me in this entire run now when I read it this time, because I'm like, what are you doing on Shield helicarriers, girl? What are you doing here? Why are you? What is going on?
Ever since Tony got spit in the face, he's just like, hang out with me a little bit, get to know me a little bit, let's hang out a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel like we've tapped into some of why this was such a controversial run at the time and split the audience a bit.
I think in 2006, I was just more like, America's good. We're the good guys. And I think at 41, I'm like,
it was different. Yeah.
This is mature Cyclops talking, not.
And the last two things I'll say is like they pick random characters, and I think Millar does not write Daredevil well. He does not write Cable.
I don't like Daredevil at all in this.
Daredevil was like a different person. Cable, I'm like, what is going on?
He doesn't write Spider-Man particularly well either.
Okay, that was the third one. I was going to be like the difference between how Bendis writes Spider-Man and Millar.
Yeah.
I was like, it's so.
But it's
so
just,
overall,
Millar's style isn't just that pithy, quick, snapback style that is good for Spider-Man or those types of heroes. It's just not his vibe.
All right, Al, Patty,
that's
my
overall take is just it had a good premise. It had a good, overall execution. Okay. They fucking fumbled. They fumbled the ending completely. They fumbled.
Al, what are you? How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, so without going into who's right or wrong or any of that, because I'll save that for when we actually are in the issues.
Yeah, sure.
I actually enjoyed this a lot rereading it. I think I like it more now than I did back in the day, especially compared with, thinking back on how we reread the Ultimates a year or two ago, we did that episode of Ultimates. And that, Millar Millar, wrote the Ultimates in a very sort of Team America, World Police, fuck yeah, they're awesome. We're going to do it, gung-ho kind of style. I think this is a much more measured take on superheroes working for the government. And, regardless of who wins, I think he gives a pretty like measured description of, is it good or not? He doesn't really, in the Ultimates, it's kind of at face value, like they're awesome and they're being cool, even though there's intrigue going on and Loki's, but whatever. But baseline, the military's awesome. The Ultimates are awesome. Great. I think this gives a more balanced outlook on this can be misused, even if, certain heroes' intentions are good, the result is not good. So I think the writing is a lot more nuanced and thoughtful, I think, in this. So I enjoyed it overall. McNiven's art is great. He's got a cool mix of sort of realistic detail and facial expression, but also just overall feels not in a bad way, but cartoony. Like it feels drawn, it feels artistic, but still expressive. And I think it's a cool aesthetic he has that is kind of hard to land, but he does that. His action blocking is really good. You feel the weight of things. I know Patrick already mentioned this, but like when Thor kills Goliath, you feel him land. You feel that body. When Hercules kind of saves the day and throws a giant gas water tower or whatever that, you feel the impact on this stuff. When Iron Man and Captain America are blocking and elbowing and punching, I really like how he expresses the weight of action, because that's difficult to do in comics, and I think he does it really well. And for a mature story like this, it works great. I
agree.
So, and again, I'll leave the specific comments on the ideologies around till we get there in the issues. But overall, I actually enjoyed this more now than I did at the time, and especially compared to Avengers Disassembled and House of M. I thought this worked much better as a standalone event. I know this still had lots of. This still definitely had.
We've kind of stepped up as it went. I think Disassembled is horrible and all over the place. I feel like House of M was like, oh, okay. This one, I'm like, solid story. From start to
start. And there's definitely still a lot of these issues feel like kind of not cliff notes, but they kind of feel like you're missing scenes because you know that stuff's happening in individual heroes' comics. However, each of these issues still moves the plot along, whereas House of M just felt more like a bunch of let's wait around until we get to the end. And this felt more like every issue we are progressing towards the resolution of all this, even though you do kind of miss some context if you're not reading all the side issues. So again, long story short, I thought this aged pretty well, and I definitely enjoyed this better than the other two preceding crossover events that we discussed. So that's my overall take.
Oh yeah, we kind of mentioned that. You did mention that. Never mind. I was gonna say this is like the third part in our little trilogy of Marvel. We'll get off Marvel for a little while after this. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
okay. Yeah. Well, let's get into issue and Civil War, by the way, is 7 issues. So let's get into issue 1. Or Pat, did you need to? You look like you wanted to say something.
Oh no, random art note. I like the way McNiven and who was the colorist? I actually enjoyed the scale of Captain America's suit, which I don't typically.
Oh yeah, the scale. He was one of the first to really do that. And I say that, but I'm like, I'm probably forgetting somebody. But I feel like this was kind of like the era of like trying to make his silly Captain America pirate boots and big floppy gloves like make sense, and he actually has the scale metal armor, and like I don't know that. I mean, obviously you get a little bit of that in Ultimates, but they really just put him into tights right away. There was some like early character designs that kind of had that like diamond pattern. But this is literally like every scale is drawn on his costume. It's pretty awesome.
Also, I love this Iron Man armor is, I think, my favorite. Yeah, I love this era Iron Man.
I was actually going to say that too. It's one of my favorites. I think I don't know if this is it. It might be, but like if this is Mark 20 or whatever, but there's a specific toy that I'm like, I love this toy, like kind of like I love this armor, and I like kept it from back in the day. So like I was just like, this is the only one I'm going to hold on to. I just love this armor. But it might be like right before this, but it's around this era.
Okay.
But
all right.
Yeah, awesome.
Let's get into issue 1. So again, we don't have to go in too much detail because it's 7 issues, but the big kind of inciting event of the Civil War is
Speedball being dumb.
Is Speedball being dumb. So there's a bunch of, and this is the part that is kind of prescient about this, because this was 2006, so the whole Instagram famous influencer lifestyle didn't exist. This was just the beginning of the reality television.
This is more reality television kind of idea,
right?
But
it's still that idea,
yeah,
it's still that idea of kind of fame for fame's sake and just trying to be a celebrity to be a celebrity. If this came out
now, you'd be like trite, overdone. Yeah. But back then you're like, oh, what a weird idea that there's a superhero team that has cameras following them around and they're on.
I mean, at the time, it was kind of like, what's the term? Like, prescient is prescient is the right word, but like kind of
now it feels too on the nose. But like back then,
but at the time it was.
Yeah.
So the inciting event is Speedball and his gang of reality TV wannabe superheroes found some like D-rate villains holed up in a suburban house, and they want to raid it on camera so they can, fight crime on camera. And it goes badly. Big explosion. People die. It just goes about as badly as it possibly can. And that's basically, I don't know if you want to go into the detail of the event, but that's the inciting event, is America, or, kind of wakes up to the idea of, wow, people are being irresponsible with their superpowers is a problem.
Well, they make a point because the New Warriors have some like guy like Cecil from Invincible, and he's like Speed Freak has like taken on the whole, like these they're not they're pretty powerful villains, and one of them is a guy named Nitro that I guess is a Captain Marvel villain, and he's the one that
explodes.
He has he explodes and kills like 60 kids and like 500 or 600 people.
I mean,
but also they keep.
It could theoretically be after school, and they're just playing and there's not a school filled with children, assumedly. But like, it shows a full playground in the background.
It shows like a basketball game. Speaking of playoff basketball,
it's soccer. It's not b-ball.
It's basketball.
Definitely.
No, the guy, it looks like he's palming a basketball. Speaking of playoff basketball, it looks like this.
Well, the ball's red, so I'm going to go with kickball because they're in their field.
I'm about to say it might be kickball. But Speedball is kind of a villain.
Smashes Nitro into the bus. The kids are in the back,
it's definitely kickball. You guys are right. Yeah,
she smashes him into a bus, and you're just like, that's kind of horrifying. They're close to a school, and you turn the page, you're like, oh fuck, that. I remember reading this the first time and just going, holy shit, they just killed a shitload of kids. Like that's insane.
Also, Nitro. Wiki feet here. Like, I don't know why he's just got his feet out. He was barefoot.
He wasn't ready. They were like hanging out in a house or whatever. They're hiding out. The whole point is that they like bust in on them while they're like eating McDonald's and stuff, and not like
I did think it was funny because one of the supervillains spots the New Warriors, and she runs in the house, and he's like, "Everyone get into costume. We've got to fight." It's like, you don't need your costumes.
But
the Avengers, the weight of things out, like One, I want to mention just Speedball punching people, but I think it's the facial expression sometimes too, because like their jaws will be like, and their lips will like be spouting shit. There's a lot of like, wow, that it looks like he actually got punched or kicked, not just a stoic face with a fist hitting it. You know what I mean? Like there's little nuances to his facial expressions that I think that'll work really well. But also when she shoves Nitro into the bus, it's a close up, and but it still has weight to it. But then when you zoom out, the bus is just crumpled in. Like it. Yeah, it looks. There's a lot of cool like art nuance with to your point, like adds weight to the hits and the punches and stuff. The explosion's horrifying. It engulfs the school. I hope this is an after school function because that would mean less kids were there. But
I think it's horrifying. 60 kids and like 500 people total. I think
that's horrible. It's horrible. Anyway, we cut to Captain Iron Man staring over the remains of a school and body after body after body.
Yeah, and the X-Men are there. I mean, Avengers and X-Men are all there helping clean up.
Yeah, for one quick second, I kind of lose track of the era sometimes when we dive into an old book like this, and I'm like, Jean looks skinny. Oh, that's Rachel.
Yeah,
like for one second, I was like, Jean looks really skinny and little.
Another art note too is, I mean, we mentioned all the costumes are cool, but this is maybe a silly panel to highlight. But this view of Wolverine, I just like how McNiven, you can see the musculature and veins under the costumes. It just looks cool, you know, because you can see the physical strength of the superhero with the cloth draped over it. Like he draws costumes well. I think it's a cool aesthetic, especially like Wolverine, you know, it works great for him. Also the Sentinels are Gundams. They got little Gundam pilots in there. Did you see?
Yeah.
Well, this was kind of fallout from the decimation event where the were
the Sentinels are like
the X-Men
hovering over them and making sure they're not gonna, I don't know, destroy the world again. Like it was their fault.
Technically, they're like protecting the X-Men.
Witch.
I don't know. I did think it was weird. Goliath says that it's not just gonna be the mutants that they're watching after this. It's gonna be all the superheroes.
It's gonna be all of us. And I'm like,
he says, he says
it should always have been.
He says this is the straw. Yeah, that too. But he says this is the straw that broke the camel's back. And then, like, literally, like 5 pages from now, Daredevil says the same exact thing. And I just thought that was a little strange.
Well, you got to hammer the theme home, I guess. Yeah,
I guess so.
Johnny,
but it is also
cleaning up bodies, or cleaning up rubble, rather, or helping look for people. I do like that Rachel uncovers, like, she knows people are down there because of her powers. But, she uncovers rubble with Scott, and then
gotta say,
people actually come out from under the rubble, and that was kind of cool.
Every Marvel Girl costume, because she goes by Marvel Girl at this point. I fucking hate. I think
the problem is the color palette. The
color palette.
Well, it's going with original Marvel Girl colors, but
and also the skirt. Like the skirt doesn't. I don't know. I hate Jean's Marvel Girl costume, and I hate Rachel's Marvel.
Yeah, it's not good. I do love the Astonishing Era Cyclops is a great costume.
That's great. Cyclops is cool. I don't love the piping, but it's not bad. You know.
Yeah, and then we get more kind of vignettes of popular pushback to superheroes.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, Goliath's picking up rubble, and like Johnny is flying through the air with the classic, like, only fire on his bottom half because he's carrying something, but it's a tiny body. It's horrifying. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Right, but we get the mother of one of the children who died spit at Tony's face in the funeral.
That spit is a loogie, man. That is a thick wad of spit.
Yeah, look at that. It looks like Spider-Man web.
It does. It looks like Spider-Man webbing
of there. Yeah. But so she's unhappy, and then we see Johnny. And then we see scumbag Johnny get beat up outside of a nightclub, and he's kind of a lot of the Fantastic Four are sort of the worst, but.
Don't care. I'll call it out in a few pages. The Fantastic
Johnny is like, I don't know. It's been done to death, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see Thing moping around anymore, and I get over it already. It's been 58
But so we get get a big
you're a rock man. Get on with your life.
But so
and Johnny, I'm just like, stop pretending you're 10 or you're horrible. Stop pretending you're 21
like a teenager.
And you're 75. Like, stop it. Like, why are you? He's like Leonardo DiCaprio, like
crappy.
Leonardo DiCaprio, like dating like 18-year-old girls when he's like 75. Like, what are you doing, man?
I think he's dating a 30-year-old or something now. So actually, he's evolved.
Oh, good job.
Quite a bit.
I also, I don't dislike Leo. I just call him DiCaprio because it's funny.
Yeah. But so then, as a result of all these attacks, the Avengers, kind of an Avengers adjacent people, all meet at the Baxter Building. And one comment I want to make is. What's weird is at the time, I don't think I was that aware of who Hank Pym was or something, maybe in the early 2000s. So rereading all these, it's just weird. I keep thinking like, oh, it's fucking, why the fuck is Hank Pym a central character in all this? But I notice him so much more. Yeah, it's weird how much more I notice him now, but he's Yellow Jacket now. He's this weird Yellow Jacket costume. But it's just weird, like these past 3 crossovers we've been reading, it's like hit me how much Hank Pym is involved in this shit he's awful. He's pretty awful.
He's bad.
Yeah.
He's like
I know. Like, just a quick note, like, because Hank Pym and Reed are just the worst. But I also still like Wasp and Susan, even though they stay with them for some reason. But I feel like, I feel like the only reason I'm okay with that is because it's just comics, and like, of course, they're still with them because that's what they do. Like, it's just like, well, they're together, so they'll stay together forever, and you're just like, oh.
So Susan,
real world, Wasp would drop Hank in like a millisecond and be like, "Fuck that guy" for the rest.
And Sue too. I mean, she does have great battle moments in this series, but I just don't understand why she goes back. But
maybe her constant
stay with Reed.
But Reed, I still love you. You're like, no, you don't.
Why?
Just go. Just go.
You left
they're
Namor.
terrible.
Just go have sex with your sea prince and move on with your life. You know,
actually,
like,
Ultimate Sue, which is where the Maker came from, she ended up with the Thing. They got together.
Oh, really? I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't think I never when the original Ultimate Universe, because there's a new one now. When the original one was finally like rolling out, like what is it? What was the ultimate? What was
Ultimatum?
Ultimatum.
Yeah.
But like when that was finally winding down, I was just like, aside from like the Ultimates and Ultimates 2, like after that, I didn't like Ultimates 3. I just went.
Ultimate X-Men really went downhill too.
Yeah, they all the titles did. Yeah,
but
that's why they were like, let's kill this.
back on the Hank Pym thing.
I wasn't really reading it then, so I didn't know.
But I want to call out some Hank hypocrisy because so basically they pretty much all the superheroes start arguing about whether should we have control on us or not. Is kind of they're all going back and forth, and Falcon says, the masks are a tradition. We're not super cops. And then Hank says, "Are you kidding? We're lucky people have tolerated this for as long as they have. Why should we be allowed to hide behind these things? Like, you invented Ultron, bro.
Yeah.
Why aren't you in jail? Like, you've been hiding and not in jail this whole time."
That, like, register. If you register, the second you register, they should just throw you into the negative zone. Like, Hank Pym,
but I mean, Hank Pym,
like, those
if
are the
there
people
was
that should go into the negatives.
Yeah, and he's also abused his wife physically and verbally, invented Ultron. If anybody should have paid a price before, it's Hank Pym. And, so it's just wild that he's the one saying, anyway. It's crazy that he's the one saying, like, they should be held accountable. It's like, why don't you start with you, buddy? You can hold yourself accountable anytime.
Right now,
Oh, so that's probably it.
He's good. He's stable now. He's stable.
My big note on this scene is when they're kind of talking about like giving up their mask, and Spider-Man's like, the secret identity is kind of a big thing for me. And Sue Storm says, the secret identity thing isn't such a big deal. The Fantastic Four have been public since the very beginning, and it's never really been a serious concern. I'm like, bitch, everyone in your family has fucking superpowers. Your son can fucking ultra reality, and you live in like the most secure building in
you
the
live
fucking
in an
world.
ivory tower.
Shut the fuck
like, what
up.
Are you talking
like,
about?
Sue, shut up.
First of all, you don't know who he is, so you don't know his situation. Like, what? Wait, do they know Peter? I don't know if they do.
I don't know.
Anyway, if they do, it doesn't matter. But if they do, that makes it even worse. Because if you know who he is, you know what's going on and what he has at stake. Because it's just his wife and his aged aunt that he's like, something could fucking happen to them, like, kind of like, fuck you.
And I know
Millar, I don't even remember who says it, but somewhere later in the book, they're like, how do you feel about, like, Sandman knowing your fucking zip code that Ant-Man and Mary Jane are in? And I'm just like, good fucking point, man. That's
They
really do Spider-Man. They fuck him over in this. I mean, by them, I mean
do.
Tony
and Reed,
manipulating them,
But so conspicuously absent from all of this going on is Captain America, and so that we seen shift to already, even before the Registration Act and all that, but already Maria Hill and S.H.I.E.L.D. are trying to get him to, like, you need to start bringing in.
Hattie has one thing, but I also do too.
One thing I want to mention is going back to how I said Millard like doesn't write Daredevil well.
There we
Daredevil,
go. Yes.
Like, he's got.
You mean the Harvey Two-Face, the Harvey Dent Two-Face coin that he's
first
flipping?
of all, it's so random, and then like 7 issues later, when he does get captured and like he's put in jail, he like gives Tony the coin.
Yeah,
they're like he didn't
the
talk.
Judas
He just
30
had this,
pieces of silver.
He just had this silver piece under his tongue
in his
or something
mouth.
like that. And
he
I'm
got
just going,
caught and he put it in his mouth.
Did you have this in your mouth the whole time?
Yeah.
Or just saving it for when you got captured?
I think when he got caught.
Well before there was anything to be captured over. Like, what's happening right? Why is Daredevil have a silver coin? Why is it show him with it later? Like, what's happening? It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
He goes, now you got 31. I'm like, where was the other 30? Like, what are you talking about?
No, well, it's a reference to Judas because Judas.
No,
got
I get it, but like
he
he only gave him one coin. He didn't give him 31 coins.
Well, but that's the point. It's the point. Anyway, it's weird.
Oh,
it is
so
it is a weird. And yeah, it is weird that he's just in the shadows twirling this coin as if that's something Daredevil.
Anyway, I'm glad Patrick's and me both were like, we have something to talk about, but it was the same thing. That's good. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. All right, Maria Hill and Cap. They immediately disagree, and she immediately pulls guns on him. What the fuck is happening? He's like, I want to talk about this, and then she's like, no, you need to sign up, and he's like, fuck you, you don't need to tell me what to do. And then she's immediately like, shh. And you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, it's not even written into law yet. Like, it's so weird.
Maria Hill was specific. We find out later in Secret Invasion that Maria Hill was specifically installed by the Skrulls to be an incompetent Shield leader. So it's like,
and so we're seeing that
fucking stupid. Yeah,
yeah, we're seeing that happen now. We do get, and this is, inspired a pretty famous scene in the film Captain America: Civil War.
Oh yeah,
but we do get a pretty badass Cap moment here.
Oh, amazing.
It's pretty insane. And again, back to McNiven's art blocking. I love these little martial arts, like how he blocks, elbows. It's such good comic action going on right now.
Even the page before that, when he holds the guy up and there's like a million darts going into his body, I'm like, I hope they don't go through that armor because that's way too much tranquilizer for that one normal human thing.
Yeah, he's gonna sleep for a long time. He's just
like, I'll just hold this guy up, and I'm like, that was. I mean, for you, it would have been maybe slow you down. For that guy,
I also love as a hero shot this panel of him busting out of the window is just a great. With everything's kind of black and red. I mean, it's just a great shot.
Yeah. Also, he surfs on a fucking jet to leave, so that's fun.
It's just amazing Cap moment. Peak Cap.
Pretty cool.
Did y'all think there was anything political about the scene as far as the art goes? Because every time it's Captain America, the background's blue, and anytime it's a Shield agent or Maria Hill, the background's red.
Oh. I don't think so. I didn't see it that way, but
I don't think it's political. So I think it was maybe just an art choice because his costume is blue, but I don't know. Maybe it was. I don't know. Maybe they were making a political statement.
Well, I heard Millar kind of dip his toes into the Comicsgate bro pool.
This is also 2006 was the height of kind of George W. Bush post 9/11. Surveillance and like hyperactivity.
I think that's also like at the time I was like, the government, America's the best. we're there was still that cohesion after 9/11 of like, we're the best country in the world.
We still are, Patrick, but okay, that's a topic for another.
I didn't feel that way, but all right.
And then we get, and I love this is the thing when mainline comics can't not mainline comic, but when stuff like when the Watcher shows up for no reason, I just kind of go, right, this is what Marvel is. Like, there's no reason. He provides nothing.
Because were you gonna say something, Patty?
Well, it's just like, why reveal yourself? Like, why don't you just watch? Like, why make a big?
Well, he's like, am I the only one here who can see this big dome-headed guy staring at everybody? And I'm just like. First of all, I love this because Doctor Strange goes, his name is the Watcher. I'm like, no, it's not. His name's Uatu. He is a Watcher, or known as the Watcher. But that'd be like saying, like, his name is the Spider-Man. He excelled and spent on what I'm like, no, it's not. His name's Peter. Anyway, it was just so weird. And then because later on, Doctor Strange literally addresses him by name. And I'm just like, what? what's going on?
Well, maybe he doesn't want to reveal his name to the group,
Maybe, but it's
he's
so,
like on a professional level.
Also, Doctor Strange, this whole thing that he's doing where he's like, I'm gonna go fast, and
he's on a hunger strike.
Open turns out okay, and you're like, what the
Didn't
fuck,
work.
man?
Didn't work. And then this issue ends. I just want to call out this last panel because the issue ends with kind of protests outside the White House, and you see Iron Man from behind just saying, President, sign the law, do what you need to do, we'll handle Captain America. And the shot is just the douche patrol here. It's fucking Hank, Reed, and Tony, just the asshole patrol.
The worst.
Dude, if it was
Like,
anyone
the
else standing
worst
behind him,
people,
like if it was She-Hulk and like somebody else, I'd be like, all right.
No,
Okay.
but it's the worst people.
But it's Reed and Hank, and I'm like, like,
might as well
it's gonna be bad.
for Charles Xavier back there.
yeah, just throw Charles Xavier in.
One other
round out the
costume
crew of
note.
assholes.
Another costume note, though, is I like the 3D Fantastic Four symbol. You know how it's like not part of the costume; it's an actual button on top. I like that.
I don't know who did it first, Green Lantern or Fantastic Four, but I think that came from a Green Lantern thing. Like they started to do like, hey, why don't we do this? And then also it was glowing in front of it, kind of thing, which I loved. But anyway, I was like, okay, I like that.
I do like that.
So,
yeah,
but
issue
that was
2.
the end. And then this is issue 2 again starts with, like we mentioned earlier, things have happened between 1 and 2. There's gaps kind of between each issue. And you kind of, if you haven't been reading the side comics, you kind of, the first few pages usually fill you in on sort of what happened. But,
by the way,
some
if
time has
someone
passed.
listening to this has a different opinion of Reed Richards, I'd love to fucking hear it. let us know. Let us know if for some reason we were talking about this a little while ago. Like, is there a good Fantastic Four run we should read, or is there a book we should read? Kind of thing. And we settled on the 1, 2, 3, 4 one that we did a little while ago.
I do.
But like,
okay,
man, I hate Reed, and I'm just like, is there a book where he doesn't suck, or he's not a complete asshole to Sue, or like
he's a sociopath.
Just like, man, he's the fucking
he is
worst.
He is terrible. I will say in this run, in the end, he does express some remorse and does seem to understand that he needs Sue and is in love with her and expresses that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's some kind of small character growth. He doesn't seem to regret his actions, certainly, but
then well, so if that's the case, then maybe it's the fault of like creators changing hands too often, because he just goes back to square one every time.
Yeah, he's a sociopath.
Like if he has growth, it's only in one arc, and then the next arc he's just back to being a dick.
Yeah, then he's back to dedicated to his work and all that.
Yeah, there's a conversation he has in like issue 5 I'm gonna call out that's just like, if I was in the room and be like, you did what? What are you talking about? That's insane.
We do. And another thing, which comic were we talking about where we discussed how incompetent Nick Fury is on all? I think it was the Iron Man Armor Wars. Secret Invasion, but also the Armor Wars. I think we were mentioning how useless S.H.I.E.L.D. is.
Was Nick Fury really in that?
I think he was in like a little, but I just wanted to mention Maria Hill is really carrying on that legacy of just complete incompetence. As it's just she can't win for trying, or whatever the phrase is.
That's one thing that the movies do like really well. They make Nick and Maria like much better characters and more tolerable.
Yeah, she is so incompetent. Also, we get this shot of basically S.H.I.E.L.D. agents find Vulture and who's the other guy?
Grim Reaper.
Reaper.
I don't know. Yeah, Grim Reaper,
tied up because Captain America beat them up, right? And so she goes, damn it, we missed it again. He's on his own. And then we get a shot of kind of Tony and the official heroes fighting some crime downtown, and we get this nice little butt shot of She-Hulk right there.
I might not put it on screen for those on YouTube.
Which is pretty gratuitous from McNiven's.
Yeah, but
let's move the camera down so we can shoot up towards Tigra standing on top of the thing, but make sure She-Hulk's still in the shot.
Yeah.
I will say though,
her ass and point it upwards, and then just make sure she's still in the shot.
Bruce had a lovely ass.
As Al Pacino, brilliant. Yeah. And just as Al Pacino brilliantly said in Heat, she got a great ass.
great. I mean, She-Hulk is wildly attractive. So I mean,
great body.
I mean, it's TNA, but I'm fine with it.
And then we get
the very next sort of Sue, same shot for Sue almost.
It is, you do also get, but it's exactly kind of what we were talking about of that idea of Reed just being completely engrossed by his work, not caring about his family.
Yeah, it's also like, and I don't know, man. Like when you have a partner and you're in this kind of situation, typically you would be like, "Hey, this is what we're doing," but he's like deliberately going like, "Don't touch that. That's a secret.
Yeah.
You're not allowed."
And it is.
You're not allowed.
Like that's the kind of situation where typically you'd be like, "Hey, you're not allowed, but this is what we're doing." Kind of thing. Like, to a husband and wife, or to a husband and husband, or a wife and wife, it doesn't matter. I mean, typically you share things with your partner you're really not supposed to, and it's just like kind of fucking crazy that Reed's just like, "Don't touch that. You're not allowed to see that." Stop.
And I think Patrick made this point earlier, but at this point in time, he's just being so enthusiastic about Hank and Tony have all these wonderful ideas, and we're just brainstorming and riffing, and it's wonderful. And later we found out these magical ideas he's so gung-ho about are a negative zone prison. They're a Thor cyborg with no emotions. They're, it's just like mad scientist shit. Yeah, it's just bad things.
Well, he goes, first she's like, "Maybe I'd be excited too if this genius plan didn't mean jail for half of our Christmas card list." And then he goes, "Agreed. But don't leave us any choice if they refuse to register, honey. Just take a look at my projections if you need to see the social dangers they're creating." And she looks at the board and goes, "What are you talking about? This is just gobbledygook." She's like, "This is nothing. Yeah. This is insanity. You look crazy to me." That's basically what she says. I fucking love it.
Yeah. And then next, and
what's number 42? Don't touch that. Sorry.
Yeah, and we're going to find out later what that is. The next kind of big scene is, we see some Spider-Man stuff and Patriot, but the next big scene is Patriot and the rest of the Young Avengers are captured.
No, this is what I love. Al. It says midnight, Registration Act becomes law, and then it's like 24 hours later, Patriot's being shot in the back. Patriot, basically, boy Captain America. They're like, "Let's take him out. He stopped a mugging. We should fucking kill him."
And let's take an art note. Look at how they're taking him out. It's a giant machine
rollout of like, "Hey, also, 1, 2, 3 strikes. Okay, knock it off. You need to register." It's just immediate. Shoot this kid in the back. And then when they shoot him, they're like, "What the fuck? He's bulletproof now?" They were expecting to kill him. They were expecting at least to take him down. But they were expecting him to fall from the bullet fire. And then they're like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
That didn't kill and or stop him immediately. What?
Also, I was a huge Young Avengers fan. Yeah, and the Young Avengers run hadn't finished yet. So at this point in time in Young Avengers, Patriot didn't have any powers. So when they shot him, and I was reading this for the first time, I was like, "Oh my god!"
That there was that brief period of time when he didn't.
And then when the Shield agent's like, "What the fuck? I thought I didn't have powers." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, that's.
And then when Young Avengers finished after this, and it shows him get his powers back, but at the time he canonically didn't have powers.
Also, I mean, to their knowledge, he just jumped into so he jumps from one roof to like the side of a building and smashes into like one random level on a building, and they blow it the fuck up with like gas or something.
Yeah,
but it's an explosion, whether it's fire or not. Let's put it that way. And then the next panel or the next page is like all the Young Avengers are captured, and I'm like, if that was where they were all hiding out, and you're like, "Oh, he's invincible now. We should shoot him with something harder and stronger." There were very possibly other people in that fucking building, whether it was his team or not. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're just blasting a fucking building.
Well, guys, again,
level of the building blasts outward.
We know Shield isn't the most effective.
If the entire point of this Registration Act is to stop public damage or people getting hurt in the fights with superheroes and villains, and you're chasing down heroes and just blasting the shit out of like entire levels of an office building, what are you fucking doing?
Well, but that's the whole point. I mean, I think Millar is trying to show
man talking to Daredevil. I don't know who this is.
It's Luke Cage, isn't it?
Is it? No.
No?
I think it might be.
That's a white dude.
not McNiven's best work, but I think it might.
I think it's bad
That's
Luke Cage.
That's really bad, and the
I think it's bad Luke Cage. Yeah.
Oh my God, is that Luke Cage? That's horrible.
But we find out, first of all,
well,
Patrick, we find out.
Going back to Patriot, I thought it was funny how they shoot him and they were like, what the fuck? I didn't think he had powers. And then they shoot a grenade at him. And then the next panel, the guy's like, are you sure he's indestructible? And he'll be fine. I'm like, you just found out he had powers like 30 seconds ago.
You sure that kid's indestructible? He'll be fine. It's the office block I'm worried about. Yeah. You should be, and you shouldn't have blown it up, you fucking psychopaths.
The pro registration team are the villains. I hate this book.
But we find out
there's a dickhead talking about the negative zone prison, and then it's really Captain America driving the van, and he kicks him out the door. Which I love.
How do we feel about Cap with glasses? By the way,
it's a hilarious Superman-esque disguise.
Yeah. You know, I like him better with the mustache later.
Also,
when he's a mall cop or whatever for his next.
Yeah.
This is Falcon, right? Tearing the thing off of Wiccan's.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Well, he's wearing a Shield super suit. Maybe he's the Shield super suit or something. Okay. Yeah.
Well, also, just unlock it. Like you could hurt Wiccan. What are you doing? let me rip this apart with shards of metal, or just go.
Look, it's a high pressure situation.
You know,
and we gotta get out of there.
Right,
but they get Wiccan
some choices were made that I don't agree with necessarily. Yeah,
and they get Wiccan to teleport them. Yeah, and it turns out that they're using a Shield safe house that, of course, incompetent Shield doesn't even know about.
Well, only Nick Fury, only level 33 Freemasons know about this one.
Yeah,
which is Captain America and Nick Fury, and that's it.
No, it's just Nick Fury. Cap knows now. It's just Nick.
Is Fury giving them tips? And then Spider-Man reveals his identity to the world.
Yeah, worst idea, bad idea. Bad idea, Peter.
To the point where I think doesn't he make a deal with the devil?
In terms of Rogues Gallery, it's like Batman, weirdly enough, the Flash. Interesting that it's coming up again. And Spider-Man. Those are like the three heroes that have like the biggest like breadth of like villains that will fuck you up if they ever knew who you were. And Peter's like, Peter Parker. And they're like, everybody you know and love at the Daily Bugle is going to get murdered. By
I think, and I think, Patrick, to your point, I think to undo this, he has to have Mephisto. I think the deal is basically Mary Jane doesn't know who he is or something. They're no longer together.
Yeah.
Is the price to pay for him to,
I mean, the MCU with Doctor Strange.
Yeah. And we get a funny little shot of J. Jonah passing out when he realizes that it was Peter all along. He was the Spider-Man.
That was pretty funny. I like that.
Okay, and that's the end of issue 2. A lot of stuff going on in issue 2.
There's a good bit of setup in that one.
Yeah.
So I love this. I mean, we kind of cut. It starts with Peter Parker again, but we cut immediately to Black Panther and Reed talking, and I just love how Black Panther's just like, fuck right off, you know, kind of thing. Like he's just like, what are you doing? That sounds horrible. You want me to hunt down my friends? No thanks. He's like, we'll abstain for now.
Do they not have umbrellas in Wakanda, or they're just out in the rain?
No, but I do love how like your skin. I love how he's like, I haven't checked. He's like, how's the Human Torch recovering? Well, and he goes, I haven't checked in for a day or two, but Susan's barely left his bedside. If anything was wrong, I'm sure I'd have heard of it. And then he just goes off on some weird tangent about how he loves the jungle mixed with technology.
The atmosphere, yeah.
And then Black Panther just goes, word of advice, Reed. Just
call your wife, man. Yeah.
Susan, what are you doing, dude? He's like, why are you talking about this right now? Yeah.
Anyway. And then this is when we first find out that Doctor Strange has sequestered himself to his meditation chamber.
Yeah.
And then
again,
this is like
we find that out with Hank, and the Wasp is just like hanging out. And then she goes, my watch doesn't work here. You're like, what the fuck, Wasp?
And so we find out that Emma and Tony A briefly had a fling, and B, Emma doesn't want anything to do with Tony.
They have flings apparently off and on when they're both single.
Yeah.
Could be.
Also, this is like one of the greatest One of the greatest Emma Frost scenes ever.
First of all, 100% agree. Second of all, I don't know what it is. Maybe we've just read a lot of Emma lately, but I'm just like, they can't keep reinforcing how much I love this character. She's just crushing it.
Yeah, she's like so great.
Everything she says to him is spectacular.
Yeah. She just claps back with such aplomb and impeccable. I mean, and facts.
Yeah.
Just actual hashtag facts that she's reading back to him. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not being like, I don't know. She's not responding emotionally to what's going on with them. She's not saying like, fuck you. She's not doing anything like, she's just logically like, well, where were you guys when all of our children were burning?
Yeah. 16 million.
Yeah.
16 million.
Oh, you're upset so you guys got in a little fight? Oh, no. You know, like, it's just fucking great. Emma's the best.
Where were the Avengers when Genosha died, Iron Man? Where were you when our babies were burning? That was like, yes. Get the fuck
also,
out of here,
McNiven draws her very awesome. Like, I was just like, damn.
Yeah.
The hair looks cool.
Great.
The dress is awesome. She looks like, again, fully poised and in control of everything around her and herself. I love Emma. She's awesome.
Also, I love how Tony's like, does Cyclops know that we used to fuck? And she's like, we know everything about each other. Nice try,
yeah, of course. Of course he does. You fucking dickball.
Dork.
And then Bishop. And then why is and weirdly Bishop?
Why is
why?
Cable and Bishop? Like why? I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think I was reading the X-Men through this, but I don't remember what their Civil War issues even entailed.
Yeah, and also Cable is, I think you mentioned this, kind of like Daredevil. He's so strangely written in this that it's just
also
weird.
The only other line other than Bishop saying, "Can we talk?" in this weird, sinister down shot. But like, other than that, like the only other line he says is like at the very fucking end when Captain America's like, "Avengers Assemble." He's like, "I thought we were the Avengers." That's it. That's all. The whole book. It just randomly Bishop goes, "I thought our side was the Avengers." Like that's it. I'm like, what the fuck, Bishop? What are you even doing there?
Maybe in the side issues you find out more. But next we see Captain America, Hercules. But they're dressed like a 70s porn film. Yeah, it's a 70s porn movie.
I mean, yeah, sure, I guess.
Also, it's weird that Hercules is so centrally involved in everything. Hercules.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, again, I feel like when you remove the X-Men, you don't have a whole lot of heroes to pick.
Yeah.
Well, also, I keep forgetting that
he's like the resident, like
he's the Thor he's the god Thor. Yeah, I keep forgetting that Thor was gone.
How much better is that later on when like Ares is on the team? That guy, that's a fucking fun character. Ares, I always loved Ares. But every time Hercules is on the panel, I'm just like, get him out of here. He's so boring. He's so boring. You know, like.
But this is. I always forget that for like 7 years, Thor was dead and not around.
Yeah. I don't even remember how he died or what happened.
It was Ragnarok during Disassembled.
Oh, that's right. You said that in House of M, right?
Yeah.
But like, or maybe in Disassembled, I can't remember. But
it was Disassembled. Yeah.
I don't have any memory of that. Maybe I don't read Thor a lot. I kind of like jump in and out.
Yeah, no.
And mostly it's through group books like Avengers or something. But like, man, like I was just like, what? Thor's dead? Oh, okay. Right.
Well, they go through this exercise of talking about their new identities, and then it just never comes back to meet it. They just immediately go back to superheroes, and
this is side book shit.
Yeah, well, it was weird that Daredevil was like, I've been really getting into my new identity. I've got new music, new food, new. I'm like, when Matt Murdock ever say this? I don't think he would. Pretty serious guy.
Also, he's turning his eyes to look at Goliath at the time, and I'm like, that doesn't work.
Yeah, that's weird.
He wouldn't turn his eyes.
I wonder if Mark Millar just didn't know what Daredevil was.
I mean, maybe
I wonder if he thought Spider-Man was Daredevil or something.
Other than making sure he was punching Bullseye in the face later, I think that's about it.
Yeah,
that's the only thing he got right. It is funny when they're like, "Let's go," and they all like put like Daredevil's putting on his mask, and they're all they're doing the Superman shirt sprint thing.
Yeah,
and then Hercules is just like naked underneath with a strap.
Yeah, well, he's got his little strap. And then this is the end
seashell strap.
And the end of this issue is the classic sort of like end of Act 1 big, the first battle.
Yeah,
that they kind of have.
Well, so it's a trap. So there's an event or like some sort of power plant's on fire or whatever, and there's a lot of people trapped there, and then they show up and it's not real, and Iron Man's like, you idiots fell for my trap. Also, this is the worst Cable costume. What are these weird piping?
I don't know. The Cable again. I'm like, who chose Cable to like? It makes no.
I don't know why he's there. What he's doing? Nothing.
What is happening?
Yeah.
What is he doing?
I did like when the fight starts. Hank grows to fight Goliath, and Wasp goes, Hank, please, we can do this without you having to grow. Like,
also,
you're
there's
useless,
a creepy
Hank.
shot of Spider-Man talking, and he's got like lips in his mask, and I'm like, don't do that again. And it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just one shot of him going like, come on, people. Fighting each other are the bad
He does have lips, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm like, don't do that again.
That is strange.
And he doesn't, but I'm like, ugh. I kind of like covered it up with my finger so I could just be like, oh, there he is.
Yeah, Spider-Man isn't written well here because they do the whole thing where Spider-Man disappears and Captain America says Spider-Man's wearing a new suit, dark designed, bulletproof, stealth mode, and then Spider-Man pops up and goes, not to mention the butt-kicking button.
Yeah.
I was like, that's really lame. That was
Millar just struggles to write him. Although Spider-Man does do a Cap style split kick.
It's crotch forward. You could have shown that from the other angle.
That is definitely a tank.
But I do love though this little page and a half of Iron Man and Cap fighting is pretty badass. How they're just going at it.
The real quick shot I love the shot of like Hank versus Goliath, and in the foreground is like Stature versus Atlas, and it's just like this like slightly smaller guys fighting slightly smaller guys. So it's pretty funny. Anyway, sorry, Captain America versus Iron Man is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a great fight. It's just a good fist fight. There's blocks and stuff. And also the detail you can see. I think McNiven probably put way more effort in this because it just looks so detailed, and the scratches on Iron Man's armor and
I was not just the scratches that he drew, but like the subtle like metal texture in the coloring looks awesome in this scene.
Yeah,
and in other scenes as well, but like this specifically, I think it looks really, really good. There's like a weird, I don't know.
And this shot of him,
it has like it feels metal. You can see the metal.
And the shot of him punching, because this is an Iron Man metal armor punching Cap. It looks
pieces of fabric, the A's tearing away. There's blood and a tooth is flying out. It's
great. So Hercules wants to go save Cap. He sees that he's in trouble, and this is when we're introduced to what seems to be Thor.
Also, when Hercules is punching She-Hulk, she's got a slight tear in her costume on her ass.
And no shoes. Barefoot, and she's barefoot.
Come on. Yeah. She never wears shoes, man.
The mighty
I guess no Hulk. Hulk wears shoes, right? Yeah.
But Hercules getting nailed by the lightning is pretty awesome. I love that. I love that one.
Did y'all think this was the real Thor when he showed up?
I did, only because, again, not at the time, not now, of course, but at the time I did because I wasn't
because
really
they always come back.
Yeah, like
also people really always come back,
and then also when everyone comes back, so I was just like, oh shit, it's Thor, and then immediately I did think, why is he on their side though? I was like, he'd probably side with Captain America, but I was like, interesting, okay. So it did get me, it tricked me. For sure.
But in issue 4, when Thor starts talking, I remember kind of thinking something's off, like this is weird. But in issue 3, where it just ends with him arriving, at the time I just thought, oh, okay, I guess.
When he arrived, for sure. But
I guess they found a way to bring him back.
Later, I was like, oh, never mind. Yeah. There's something's going on here.
Yeah, because he's just very menacing, and it's bad. Like, I think Dagger says something like, everyone thought you were dead, and he just says, no, Dagger, that would be you, and that just doesn't seem like a Thor line. At that point something's off. But he
look how Dagger falls when he throws the there's a lot of Look how she
A lot of
falls.
butt. Yeah, just head on. Yeah, that's.
It's just
Sure.
They're all being tossed through the air, but she's the only one
that goes butts
in that
up.
specific spot in space and time that is flipped up upside down, and her ass is just flying towards the
camera. One note I'll make though is, and I remember maybe more reading this the first time than the second because I kind of knew what was going to happen, but Thor is terrifying in this.
Yeah.
Like he is a jackhammer of just violence, and he looked scary. Like he was really.
When Dagger says, "Oh my God, this is wrong. We've got to get out of here. This is really, really, really wrong." And then the hammer's floating back to his hand, and fake Thor, is like, "Wretches, you're not going anywhere." And you're like, "Holy shit!" Like that's. I mean, if you didn't realize it before, you're like, something's definitely off now.
Yeah. He was terrifying. And then the next page I want to really highlight because in House of M and Avengers Disassembled and some other crossovers, I think I've made a lot of comments about how Captain America's kind of an asshole, and I'm not really into him. He's just kind of a piece of shit. And I know we texted about this before, but I really think he works great as an underdog. And this next panel where Tony just says, like, "You're beaten, stay down," and he gets up kind of like a Frank Miller Batman looking, just all torn up, ready to fight. And he just says, "I'm not going down to a punk like you." I think he works much better as an underdog.
I think that's
fighting than
because even though he's like hardcore part of Shield, when Ultimates 2 happens and like there's a traitor amongst them or whatever, and he breaks away, I think that's like spectacular. And then leads up to that fight in the end. Like I think that's because he is the underdog, so to speak, in that. But yeah, I think that's what I like about him when he's used in that capacity. Again, I know we've mentioned this before, Al, but like I think he's not handled well in a group setting sometimes. Like he has this like they use like the icon that is Captain America and less like the nuance of what his character can be. And there's quite a few Captain America runs where I'm like, he was really awesome then, he was really awesome here, kind of thing. But like you'd have to get into his book to really read that or see that part of him. And so this is kind of like not a caricature of him, but it's a less nuanced version of him. I was gonna say watered down, but that's not right either. But like I don't know, like it's a less nuanced version of him for sure. But in this, it works because it's him going up against the entirety of the U.S. government with Iron Man in charge, kind of thing.
Yeah. And I guess without going into too many more details about the rest of the fight, but so Hercules has a moment, and then Thor laser beam murders Goliath, which is kind of insane. And so Goliath just dies, falls down, dies. But the Cap's kind of secret Avengers are able to escape because Sue defends them. She does a giant force field around them.
One, Daredevil's punching Spider-Man, and I'm like, wouldn't his fist just break? Anyway.
I think he maybe hit him with his club. Or his baton.
He does have the club in his hand. I don't know. I don't buy it. A stick? A normal dude is hitting Spider-Man in the face with a stick? Come on.
With an Iron Man Spider-Man suit on?
Yeah, with an Iron Man Spider-Man suit on. Come on. And then, but I love the beat of like the wall collapsing and about to fall on Cap that's been ripped to shreds and beaten the crap out of, and Falcon swoops in and barely gets him out. That was pretty cool. I like that one. But yeah, and also Sue, as you were just saying, protecting them from the lightning blast is awesome.
I remember reading this for the first time, being like, that was the first time I've really seen Invisible Woman like fucking really do something.
Well, also, it's not only is she doing something awesome with her powers, but she's also standing up to everybody and being like, fuck that. Like, we're not going to let this crazy ass murder the rest of these people, you fucking lunatics. Like, why on earth weren't they immediately like, well, we got to take Thor down? Like, they should all have just immediately turned on him. Like, why on earth? Like, what planet is Iron Man going, we'll deal with that later? Like, what the fuck? No, they should have all been as shocked as the good guys, quote unquote, were. You know, granted, you don't have time to see what their reactions are in that moment, but like, because you didn't.
But also, like, all Reed had to do was say "shut down code Richard Wagner 1813 to 1883," and that.
Yeah, and I guess he doesn't get there fast enough to quote unquote do that, which is possible. But I mean, just given the time span. But if it wasn't for Sue, like, I feel like they lose track of that little beat. You know, like, yes, he did murder somebody, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we fucked up." If it wasn't for Sue,
he would have
Daredevil and Little Girl Hawkeye and Stature and Captain America and Falcon and like, you know, Patriot, and like, they'd all be fucking dead. Like, this close to death. Like, do you not go, huh? Maybe, maybe we made a mistake.
We just make a few tweaks. We'll just make a few tweaks and we'll send him right back out.
Maybe put a needle into his ear and we'll operate on his brain a little bit. He'll creepily stare at Spider-Man and it'll be fine.
Well, we do get, I mean, right. That's the next scene is kind of Spider-Man.
Man, it's
haunting. The scene is
expressing some regrets, you know, to Hank and Janet. And Reed is creepily working on his Thor cyborg. It's, you know, so another thing I want to just really
Reed doesn't address that Susan just saved everyone's lives.
Yeah. Well,
just
but another point I want to make.
Little Thor clone. let
Reed earlier.
Fuck my life and my marriage and what everything it stands for and what she stands for and what we're doing here. Let's rework on Thor's brain.
No, but the worst part of all this is that earlier Reed is saying working with Hank and Tony, you know, they have the best ideas. We're all working together.
Best ideas.
One of Hank and Tony's ideas is a cyborg. So basically Reed said, oh, Hank's cyborg idea sounds great. Like, where have we seen this not work?
Where has this
gone
wrong before?
Yeah, and it's just madness.
Also,
it's crazy.
I don't know, but it's not here, I think, but maybe it's later on. But they reference where Tony got the DNA.
The very first time.
The clone
but actually, that was a very.
He's been holding on to a lock of his hair since the first time they met at Avengers Mansion. Yeah. What the fuck?
Well,
that's insane.
But I mean, Joe, that's a very Batman move, though.
It is.
I mean, to hold
and Tony
on to
is
that,
a futurist, but you know,
yeah.
I was like, what the goddamn hell?
But so the rest of the issue is both teams sort of dealing with the wreckage of what happened.
I Hank Pym, I just have to say, like, Spider-Man's like, are you okay, Hank? And he says, no, Spider-Man, I'm not okay. I watched a superhuman I helped create blow a hole through one of my oldest friends. Do you think I'm so remote, so detached, that wouldn't have an impact on me? And the next thing Hank says, after he talks about Tony keeping the hair follicle, is, I just don't understand what happened. Do we need to, like, fuse him with a Donald Blake or a Jake Olsen or something? Yeah. It's like, just give it up, man.
Do you need a little humanity in there?
Yeah.
Terminate the project. Just
maybe just don't. Maybe just don't. Maybe just don't do that. Maybe just don't do any.
Stop brainstorming and maybe just reassess what we're
just
doing.
cut your losses. You know. Yeah. Sunk cost. Move on. Right.
Also, I mean, again, like aside from what happened from them doing this dumb thing, they had the initial idea of like, let's clone our friend / cyborg. What about that? How about that?
Let's take Ultron and splice Asgardian Thor
DNA onto it. Yeah, basically. What could go wrong?
Probably a good idea.
We do also get some shots of a shadowy figure looking over Cap's Avengers, who we're going to find out next issue who that is. And that's kind of it. Then we see another, basically Tony is having doubts about the path he's on, and then that creepy woman whose son died says, nope, you're doing great. This is what we need.
Well,
keep going.
So here's the cool Iron Man toy.
Again, to like how Millar wrote Cable, like Cable leaves Cap's team after this being like, well, they've got Thor on their team, then I don't know, like we're done. I'm gonna go to the other side. And I was like, what the fuck? What we're doing here. Would Cable ever do that? What are you talking about?
Yeah, Cable whose whole life is resisting apocalypse.
What is Bishop doing?
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's so weird.
It's wild, but right.
So they're just like, we got to throw some X-Men characters in there. How about Bishop and Cable? No one cares about them.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck.
They'll just come in, make weird decisions, and leave, and no one will care.
But Cable's whole thing is being a resistance fighter against apocalypse. That's his whole thing.
Also, like,
so why?
I don't see him as being one to back down from like a challenge of Thor.
Mm-mm.
Like, I get that he
was in the future fighting a never-ending battle that he'd never win.
Yeah,
he wouldn't be like, "Well, they got Thor.
Crazy.
I'm out.
Bye, guys.
I'm out. All I got
okay.
is a cybernetic arm and well, we have a touching letter to read from Sue.
Yeah, so Sue can we talk about Sue making him dinner and fucking him before she leaves? Like
before that,
leave, Sue.
Let's
okay.
Let's just talk about how Reed is just like so not present in his marriage, because they're at a funeral, at their Goliath's funeral, and Peter Parker is with Mary Jane and Aunt May, like kind of like whispering. And Reed goes, "Is it just me, or is Peter Parker acting very, very suspicious?"
Very suspiciously.
And then literally the next line is where Sue's like, "Your wife is literally leaving you as well to go to Caps." Like, you're so focused on Spider-Man being suspicious, but like you're not aware that your own wife is like, "Deuces, I'm out of here."
Is that Rick Jones with the long green hair, by the way? That's Rick Jones, right?
Doc Samson.
Oh, Doc Samson. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, my darling, she goes, but also in the background is Reed and Sue and Johnny, and they're just like, they're also doing what Peter and Mary Jane are doing. So he's focused on Peter and Mary Jane and Aunt May, and in the background is literally Johnny and Sue going like, "We should get the fuck out of here. Let's get the fuck out of here. Write him a note. Get out of here tonight. We're leaving tonight."
Yeah.
I'll play board games. I'll play Shoots and Let Monopoly. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I'll play a board game with your children. You have a nice dinner with Reed and fuck him, and then we'll leave.
We get out of here. Yeah.
And then Ben will stare longingly out a window, knowing that we're leaving the whole time.
Pretty much. But then the big reveal at the end of the issue is, of course, Tony and Shield's roster is a little depleted, so they bring in the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Goliath.
They bring in super villains to fight with them. Yeah. If there isn't a clearer answer to which side is the wrong side, it's probably the side that brings in villains to fight with them.
Could be.
They're reformed, or we'll put bombs in their neck, Suicide Squad style. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. I do like that Johnny and Sue have their own versions of self-made umbrellas.
Yeah. It is kind of a cool little
I've got an umbrella of fire. It burns the water before it hits my body. Oh, I have an invisible umbrella. we're umbrella friends.
So the next issue 5, starts with them flying, and they look like they're at a tango embrace or something. She's back arched,
weird,
being held by him as the.
It's very Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch from the old.
Very much so.
Very much so.
Let's just embrace. I mean, they very specifically leave their crotches very far apart, but it's still there.
But their bodies are still kind of hard to distinguish from each other.
It's jarring.
And then what is Ben doing the whole time? What's with the long?
He's looking out the window.
Look,
someone's got to watch the kids. They're
leaving. Like that's actually.
He's got to watch the kids, man.
That's actually pretty solid. He's doing that because it really upset me that she left her children. I'm not gonna lie. You don't leave your children with this psychopath. Even if you're going on the run and it's going to be dangerous or whatever, you hide them somewhere with.
He's a good father. He's a good father,
don't
Joe.
Leave them with that lunatic.
Joe, he's their father.
Not a good father. She literally.
He's their father, Joe.
He's not a good father.
Joe, they need their father. All right.
Oh my God.
And then the next big event. So if you haven't been reading the individual superheroes issues so far, the next event with Spider-Man leaving is a little jarring because it basically starts with a busted wall and him and Iron Man arguing.
Al, shut the fuck up. Johnny and I will be working underground from now on, and that's obviously no place for Franklin and Valeria. That's why I've left them in your care and begged you to give them the time that you have so often denied them in the past. That's not a good father. That's a shitty
it'll be great.
Father.
But she's giving him the room to grow into a good father, which is what a good trad wife would do.
Yeah,
so
sorry. Next episode.
But so we kind of have a jarring scene here where a wall is already broken and Spider-Man and Iron Man are facing off. But if you read Spider-Man issue 535, which Patrick kindly pointed me to before coming on here, you see that what happened is basically Spider-Man unhappy with what's been going on, pretty much confronts Tony and Reed and says, I want to know what Project 42 is. I want to know everything of what's going on because things are messed up. And Tony basically tries everything he can to not reveal things to Spider-Man, but Reed sort of caves in and lets him. And so Spider-Man goes to see that Project 42 is a negative zone prison.
Yeah.
Where they're imprisoning, and there's people in prison saying things like, there's a mistake, I shouldn't be here, I'm innocent.
Right.
And it's not clear that they've had any kind of trial or anything.
Or due process.
So, yeah. So Spider-Man is, a little put off by all this. And then it's really creepy because basically Spider-Man in the issue decides to leave. So he has Aunt May and Mary Jane get out and all that. And at a certain point, you just hear like bump noises. And Spider-Man says, you all have to run immediately. And then Iron Man in full armor just crashes through and attacks it. It's kind of horrifying. It's like a horror movie of you hear him coming before he gets there. And then he just blasts through to attack. It's kind of wild.
One thing I will say is that I have the deluxe hardcover of Civil War, and I was reading some of the extras in the back. And Tom Brevoort? Am I saying that right? Brevoort. He did mention how Iron Man, if he could do it again, he would have had more cohesion with the side books, because apparently Iron Man is written really too much like a villain in a lot of the side books compared
in the Spider-Man one, he's a straight up villain. I think within the Civil War pages, even though it's easy to not take a side,
will take for those various writers to take, I think.
Yeah.
However, but I can understand how that would be let's rein that in a little bit. He's a little, you're going a little crazy with Iron Man being the bad guy.
Yeah. I do think within the pages of Civil War, he comes off as more sympathetic because, like we mentioned that scene with the Widow, he does have doubts. Scene with
Peter, and he's not, he's still even saying, even after Peter gets out of the building through the fault of the idiots that shoot through the bulletproof glass,
it's S.H.I.E.L.D.
Damn it.
We know it's S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah.
So anyway, Maria Hill's fucking hunt him down, blah blah blah, and he's and Iron Man literally says, no, wait, it's you let me talk to him first, stop, he can be on our side if I just, not that would have worked or anything, but I'm just saying,
right.
Iron Man does seem to kind of be please don't just hunt him down like a lunatic right now. Can I talk to him first before you fucking go crazy? And she's like, nope, fuck you. And he's like, fine. Kind of thing,
Yeah, but in the Spider-Man comic, he is straight up a villain in the Spider-Man comic. He's terrible.
Pretty bad. He makes Reed look like a really good dude.
Also, I didn't mention this, but Spider-Man is one of those characters that I love infinitely how crazy his costumes can get. And when I was a kid, I loved the symbiote costume before. I was just what? This is so fun. But this one is one of the only other ones that I'm just I fucking love this costume. I know it's a little over the top and weird, but the gold and red, for some reason, I'm just I love it.
Yeah.
Love this suit. And it's cool having why he only has 3 arms and not 4. I'll never understand. but I really love the Iron Spider costume. There's couple.
It's pretty cool.
There's one cover that is drawn by Brian Hitch on a Spider-Man comic, and and if you guys don't know who Brian Hitch is, he drew the Ultimates, and he's just a phenomenal artist. But he drew Spider-Man and the Iron Spider costume, and I was just bravo, fuck yes, that looks amazing. But anyway, just one of the more fun Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's really pretty cool. And so the next scene is again, it's very. I think Mark Millar is dipping back into his sort of authority Ultimates roots, because this next scene is pretty violent. So they send a couple Thunderbolts members. It's Jack-O-Lantern and Jester. Is it Jester?
Well, there's others hunting him down, but I think they're just the ones.
But they're the two that catch up, and they pretty brutally attack Spider-Man. They are killing. I mean, they are killing him.
Where they're oh, we got him. Let's fuck him up before the S.H.I.E.L.D. guys get here. And then in their earpieces, the S.H.I.E.L.D. guys are we can hear you. You're not doing that.
Pretty great. They're we'll
fucking kill you if you do that.
Yeah.
And they're like,
you have
fine.
Suicide Squad collars or whatever on. We can murder you.
And then they get murdered.
Yeah. by Punisher. By Punisher. And this is I kind of liked Punisher's role. I thought he kind of worked in this. He's great in this. He comes in, and then we get a weird shot of Johnny Storm and Sue pretending to be husband and wife as their new secret identity, which is a little creepy. It's a little creepy.
Especially because the comic starts with them just air humping.
Yeah. And I just want to bring this up because when we did the Grant Morrison Fantastic Four thing, I've always mentioned how problematic their relationship is. And you two told me I'm crazy and to shut up and that it's totally fine. They're just brother and sister. And it's not right. Their relationship is not right.
I mean, they basically say, we don't like doing this. This is creepy and weird.
Well, then don't do it. I don't know. Like, just don't do it.
They have to. That's how they're hiding.
You can fly.
They've got to make love just a couple of times while they're in their secret.
just to live the identity. They've got to make it real.
Just a few times.
Yeah.
To make it real.
Because otherwise they won't be believed. No one would believe that they're husband and wife, unless they consummate. Yeah. No one would. And so Punisher brings. Oh, this is actually a very religious sort of Pietà-like pose here when the Punisher arrives with Spider-Man in his arms.
Dude, again, McNiven and like Frank is ripped.
Yeah, he looks cool.
Dude is jacked. Dude, he's on the Snyder Zoo scale for sure.
I think
that.
So.
For sure.
Easy. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that. Jesus Christ. Also, I love the unhinged, like the up camera shot of him at the next page on the bottom.
Yeah, he looks insane.
Like, he looks so unhinged. It's fantastic.
Yeah. It's great.
I love it. He's like, well, he's on our side. He's like, since the other guy started enlisting known thieves and multiple killers, and then she's like, am I the only one laughing my guts out at the irony here or whatever? It's fantastic.
Monica, yeah.
All right, who's the arrow-faced guy? I don't know that at all.
The arrow-faced guy?
He's got
that's Stingray from Alpha Flight.
Oh, it's Stingray. That's
the one with the shoulder crossing.
Yeah,
thing?
I think that's,
yeah.
I did. It's got the white arrow pointing down. Oh, it's the Stingray tail. I get it now.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this arrow, dude? Oh, Stingray. I get it.
One of my favorite lines is when Reed's talking to She-Hulk about he goes, sometimes I wish we'd never gotten involved. Do you ever stop to think how much easier things would be if we hadn't spliced Thor's DNA with Hank Pym Cybertech?
Yes, we didn't. It's yes, Reed.
If we didn't have this big final battle plan with all those Thunderbolt lunatics, Hank wouldn't be doped up on antidepressants, and my darling Sue would have never left. If I was She-Hulk, I'd be like, "What?"
It took his wife leaving with Johnny, not fucking, by the way, just leaving with him.
Just leaving with him.
But sure. It took a heartfelt letter from Sue to be like, wait a minute. Not the fact that the cyborg Thor almost murdered all of the other heroes that were there, and the only one that stopped it was Sue. Just that she left you. That's the part where you're like, maybe we're doing something wrong.
Yeah,
Sue's
but
my moral compass, and without her, I think I'm just gonna make more cyborg.
But I just want to really harp. I want to really harp on that line of all that stuff. Trusting Hank Pym Cybertech. Reed. We've done that before. It's just wild.
Didn't work out well.
But it's okay because they captured Harvey Dent Two-Face as Daredevil.
Yeah, do you have to have a glowing giant 4-2 on the gateway? Like, is that we get it?
Yeah, I think it helps.
It's your 40-second idea.
It helps.
I think it helps.
Otherwise, how would we know what was happening?
Yeah.
Well, there's a giant. What I presumably a button to the left and right. Put it on that.
Put on that. Yeah.
All right. So issue 6. And issue. So the beginning of issue 6.
They had to take the time to project the number 42 on. They're like, wait a minute. How do we get the gateway to also have a glowing 42 on it? Let's figure this out.
But so issue 42 is very Ultimates. This idea of the government creating superhero teams and training them and just kind of you have like a fake Thor, a fake Hawkeye, a strongman. It felt very Ultimates. This whole setup right here.
That's true. Yeah.
There's a super speedster guy there. Yeah.
It seems like that in this scene alone. I think the initiative stuff that happens later doesn't feel like that at all.
No, but I just
it feels like they're actually building like super teams in all the states and like.
Yeah, but I meant this that one scene visually too. Just
there's
felt
a
very
super speedster.
Ultimates.
There's a guy with a glowing object flying to the. Oh, no, it's a hammer flying through the sky. There's literally a fake Thor, a fake Hawkeye, a fake Quicksilver. You're right. Yeah, it's very.
Well, the other guy's actually named Hercules, so yeah.
But so Punisher does like a Mission Impossible sneak in and finds out what Project 42 is. We also get a scene of
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Does he have a running scene? Doesn't count if he doesn't have a running scene.
He does. Oh, he doesn't.
Do you think he's climbing up that tunnel and it's going?
Probably. I think so.
He's just humming it. He's making the sound effects himself.
Yeah, he's just doing it himself.
And then we get a scene of Sue and Namor talking, and Namor is not subtle.
I mean, no,
Not
there's
subtle.
some chemistry.
He literally steps down off the throne and he's like, "You think it's a coincidence that he sent you here to talk to me and not himself or whatever?" And then he's just like thrusting his crotch with his robe split open. He's just thrusting his crotch towards her.
One art note.
Look at my dick.
And I know that a lot of artists have trouble. A lot of artists have trouble with feet, but Namor's feet look pretty weird. Pretty weird in that panel.
I guess so.
Well, it's the wings. The wing. Yeah, the ankle's really high up. It looks like.
It looks weird.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Looks weird.
I think it was fun. It's fine. I'm not gonna be hating on that.
And
I like that he goes to touch her lips, but it's just like a weird bubble. The air breathing bubbles over it. Shush. But he just he touches the air bubble.
And then I like the next scene where Cap's team is kind of having a meeting and two villains show up. One of them's Diamondback, I think. And they're saying, like, if you all, just like Tony's got the Thunderbolts, if you need us, we're here. And then Punisher just murders them.
Yeah,
like
immediately.
They basically say hello, and then Punisher murders them. And
Punisher's on the team for 5 seconds. He's like, "I saved Spider-Man."
He's
and they're like,
already murdering people.
And then there's bad guys show up, and they're like, "Hey, the other side has villains, and we thought you guys might want some villains." And he just kills them, and then Captain America's like, "And we're done." It beats the crap out of him, and I love it.
But
cool I did kind of like
fight that. Yeah, when he was like,
how Cap was saying like, "Fight back, coward," and he's beating him up, and then Frank just is not against you. He's just still has respect for Cap enough. I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah.
Quick question: wouldn't Sue be crushed by the depths of the?
She's got the shield energy. She's got energy shields, right?
She doesn't have a fucking invisible shield.
It's invisible.
You just don't see
Joe.
it. You just don't see it. She's got it.
Her hair is floating up like it's underwater. She's just got a little tiny mask on.
No, she's got it. It's all in her. It's each follicle has a little.
Oh, so is that
proficient? She is. Yes.
All right, I buy it. Anyway, Spider-Man's in his normal costume. Cap.
And then the rest of the issue is basically just said. They arrive at Project 42 and pretty much square up for the big climax. Is basically.
We already touched on Strange talking to Uatu, but again, I'm just kind of going like, it just seems like a
weird thing to be going on, like
not a bullshit reason to write him out of the book or make him not like just fucking solve all the problems, but at the same time I'm like, it seems a little half-hearted. You could have come up with like a little bit of a reason maybe to abstain from the fight other than just like, I hope it turns out well. I don't know. It just feels weird for Doctor Strange not to have an opinion one way or the other.
Well, I think it's his privilege, because they already told him he has a pass. Like, it's not going to affect him. They're like, actually, the government's got a special role for you. They're not going to bother you. So it doesn't affect him one way or the other. So he's just, not going to do anything.
Tell me, why are you fasting if you favor no side? What outcome are you meditating for? And he goes, whichever victory is best for all of mankind and spills the least amount of blood tonight. You could help not spill any blood. If you wanted.
Could. That's what he's doing, meditating.
Like no blood could be spilled. Just saying.
But yeah, it turns out that Hulkling replaced Yellow Jacket at some point, and he's set free all the people in the prison. So now we've got the big throwdown, the big climax.
They show up, and Iron Man's like, "It was another trap, you dummies!" And he's like, "Oh, really? We sprung that trap on purpose. Here's all the other people." And then it's a big
And
man, I have to say, as the issues carry on, aside from Sentry being on the other side of that team, Iron Man's pretty fucked. Like that's a lot of weight on the Cap side there.
Well, aside from the power weight, I do also want to mention that throughout this run, I think Millar did a decent job of sort of not painting either side as purely villain or purely good. Cap has some flaws, working with the Punisher and all that. Iron Man definitely has a lot of flaws, but also does seem pretty torn and want to be, the intent is to do the right thing. But if you look at who's squaring up, Cap's side is Sue Storm, Kate Bishop, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Cloak and Dagger, Hercules, down the line. Cap's side is Venom, Lady Deathstrike,
Captain Marvel, Shield.
Lots of other evil people and Shield. So it's kind of, you sort of see where one side is a little bit more heroic than the other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Bullseye, that's not a great look.
Bullseye. We mentioned it earlier, but they made a weird big deal about Nighthawk being like, Cap, we're doing the wrong thing. We're leaving. And him and Stature leave. And then they join the other team, and I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Of the two characters to be like, oh no, don't go.
Also
like kind of thing. But then Nighthawk's reason for leaving is just like I don't know. I don't like what they're doing over there, blah, blah, blah. And then he's on this other side with like fucking Venom and like bad guy. And you're just like, really, dude? Really?
But again, I think that was Millar's attempt
to... It's fucking Nighthawk, but other than, no offense to all the Nighthawk fans out there. I barely know the character. But, it's just like, what,
I think it is, though, even though it's a little contrived, but I think it's Millar's attempt to make it seem more like one side isn't pure evil.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's, not the best way to do that. But I think he was just trying to stress that point that it's an ideological fight, not necessarily good versus evil. And we also, there's in this fight, suddenly there's Vision. He doesn't have any speaking lines, but Vision is around getting punched.
That's like when Iron Lad's
it's Young Avenger. Oh, okay, it's the Young Avenger. I gotcha. Okay, it's not Vision. It's
Vision died in disassembled because
I see. It's Young Avengers Vision, right? I was confused.
No big deal, but Vision was also murdered. No,
it's fine.
Just saying it.
It's fine.
He's a robot.
No one cares. He's not real. He's a real boy.
Look. I have nothing against robots, but he told me he's a robot.
It's really corny, but there's a scene where Spider-Man takes down Bishop, Doc Samson, Radiation Man.
I love it.
And Mr. Fantastic goes, amazing, like whispers it, and then Spider-Man goes, spectacular, kicks him.
Yeah.
I always thought that was really
fun.
I
love it. I thought it was great.
And this is, so going back to Patrick, the point you made about not knowing how to end this. So this whole thing I felt didn't feel very natural of Cloak basically en masse teleports everybody out of 42 and into the middle of New York City.
Yeah.
Where they can then fight there. And that seemed a little...
they're like, the gate's closing in the Baxter building. That's the only other gate out of there. And they're like, the gate's closing. We have 10 seconds. You have to do what you're about to do. And he's like, oh, fine, I'll try. Well, I was expecting him to transport them to the gate and then they would get out. And then it just transports them all out of the fucking negative zone? Can he do that?
I guess.
Can he do that?
Yeah.
That seems... So he's trans-dimensional and teleporting?
I feel like fucking Dagger.
way. And also the cape is like the size of like 6 city blocks when he dumps them all out. Yeah. And you're just like, what's happening right now? Like, I know you got crazy wild powers, but like this is the most OP he's ever been. I've never seen him do anything like this since or before. Like,
well, they do. Dagger does say you have to make the biggest teleport you've ever made.
Yeah, they make a point to say much stress,
but it's interdimensional trap. Whatever. All right, you know.
And then so in New York, everybody gets in. Cyborg Thor's back. Namor joins in. Everyone's there, and there's a lot of cool moments. Like Sue has a badass moment where the Skull Thunderbolts guy, I forgot his name, the Skull Face Thunderbolts guy.
Taskmaster.
Yeah. Taskmaster attacks Reed, and Sue basically just looks at him and he goes, "Oh shit." And she just flattens him with an energy attack. That's pretty badass. Hercules has a cool moment where he takes Thor's hammer and smashes the side. I also want to say when he smashes it.
I do love that.
But I do want to highlight how when he smashes it, Thor is a horrific melange of organic material and cyborg, which is
yes, he is. Also, if you're operating on his brain, I don't know if you know this, but if you're operating on his brain, his eyes will creepily open up and stare right at Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I like when there's a quick shot of like Human Torch flying up on Iron Man, and he just backhands him Batman style, and then goes, "You think I'm stupid, son?" And I'm like, "You're not Captain America. Where is this like father son shit coming?"
Well,
from?
but he has been kind of. But I do think one character trait we've seen.
You know, Johnny's like 35. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? I don't know.
But I do think
be like, "You guys, son," all the time. You're like, "Listen, son, I know what I'm doing."
But throughout the
I've
event,
got the wisdom of 5+ years on you.
Throughout the event, though, we've seen Tony take on Captain America iconography. Like he's standing in front of American flags all the time.
He is doing that.
Yeah.
He's taking over like the SHIELD relationship. I think this is him kind of acting more and more like he thinks Captain America is, you know?
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe that's not intentional, but that's how I was reading it. He's kind of taking more and more on that figure
role
of being like the American hero.
If it's non-intentional, I like that you called it out because it makes sense.
And this is my complaint about so regardless of whether you think the right side won, quote unquote, or not, the whole Captain America giving up thing is so sudden. Like I feel it's like page to page it flips, and it definitely needed to have more buildup of some sense because it's such a quick turn from he's kind of beating Iron Man bad and like fucking him up with his shield, and then
the only brief moment we have of that is when Ben shows up to start saving people, and Sue's like, "Ben?" And he's like, "I'm here to protect people. You think I'm just gonna sit and watch you guys fight? Sure, but I'm not gonna sit and watch you guys hurt people." And I think that's the only like brief moment we have before, like, I don't know.
It is just it's weird because he gets tackled by like a fireman and paramedics and police officers. And
that's a little on the.
I don't understand why the public is. I mean, I guess they've reiterated the public.
Well, because they've been getting the new. I mean, again, the public's been getting Tony's side of it. Right?
It's Fox News.
It's just
throughout this whole event, there's been news segments that they're showing, and all the news segments are talking about Captain America's on the run, and the Registration Act is good.
Like earlier, there was like brief newspaper headlines, and one of them is just like Captain America, Secret Avengers, take out the Secret Six, you know, the news, you know, or whatever. Like there's headlines of the other side as well. So like, you know, a well-read individual might see both sides of the political spectrum. Anyway, dude, Sue crushing Taskmaster, by the way, is awesome. I love the weird little shape it leaves in the ground. Anyway, great. I just wanted to mention.
But so basically that's what happens is Captain America and his side are sort of winning the fight, but then civilians get involved, and Cap kind of realizes, you know, he kind of looks at the people and looks at the wreckage and kind of realizes, oh wait, this isn't what we want either. Yeah. You know, we don't want to be destroying New York. And again, the other cool thing, every crossover event we've done so far is New York is getting crushed kind of like this, but they're fighting Mole Man or Ultron.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or this or that. I mean, they are just fighting each other. There's no supervillain involved. Doctor Doom isn't involved. They're fighting themselves.
I don't hate this ending.
I fucking hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. They could have done so many.
I don't hate it because that makes a lot of sense to me. I feel like if it was a supervillain, or if there was like something that was gonna rip New York completely apart, and the only recourse they have is to damage a few city blocks, Cap would keep fighting. But when he realizes like this is all I have to do is stop, and it all stops, that makes sense to me that Captain America would make that decision. I feel like that's a logical.
I don't know. I feel like he betrayed his entire team. I feel like they should have just left America and then been like, okay, we're not going to protect y'all's fucking stupid country anymore.
Well, some of them do. Well, I mean, some do. There, there's a sign of some people going to Canada and stuff and being heroes.
But I think that just would have been a much cooler ending to it. And I just hate the fact that they built up the fact Iron Man's team is like clearly the villain, and then at the end they're the winners, and we're supposed to agree with
so like, yeah, but what are they're doing that? Why? Because so they can set up the next year and a half of comic books where doesn't work, like kind of thing. Like, so yeah, is it a?
But again, I think it would have been interesting if you had like the European Avengers then, and then you had fucking American Avengers, and been like, oh, you guys need our help? Too bad, sorry, we're busy in Paris. It's really tough over here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but so the rest of it is just basically. Some of it is we get like script bubbles of Reed writing back to Susan, basically saying, I've made some mistakes. We need you to come back. I don't know what to do with the kids.
I need you to talk to Valeria.
I'm really a shitty father.
What's happening?
It'd be funny if in the letters he wrote like, Susan, did you know we have 2 kids in the apartment? Like, I don't know what to do. Like, did you realize? Like, I don't know what to do with these creatures.
Ben is taking care of 2 orphans.
Yeah,
I've never seen them before. Crazy. I don't even know who they
it's
are.
Crazy. Hank Pym gets Man of the Year and is shaking T'Challa's hand. Why?
Yeah,
what did he do to get Man of the Year? That's
also, why is he shaking T'Challa's hand?
T'Challa.
I don't know.
T'Challa was upset about Goliath being murdered by Hank's clone Thor, so I don't really understand.
But let's do that.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say though is Hank Pym be Man of the Year. I believe Hitler also got Man of the Year.
Yeah,
in the 30s. So I guess it makes sense that they might give Hank Pym the same honor.
Yeah.
That they would give Hitler and Joseph Stalin.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Quick note, Al. You mentioned, I think in House of M, that you think of Doctor Strange as the voice from Venture Brothers all the time. Yeah. That's also how I think about Reed Richards. If you ever see the pseudo Reed Richards in that show.
Oh, you hear him in Stephen Colbert's voice.
Who is also a lunatic and just completely dispassionate with his entire family and treats them like shit. That's exactly how I think of Reed Richards all the time. I'm just like, oh, okay. So this whole letter at the end just read from Venture Brothers for me.
Yeah. But then the whole thing ends
back in a black costume, by the way.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And the whole thing ends with, again, just the dead boy's mother who somehow gets access to the helicarrier command
why
zone.
Why is he like the face of like? Didn't other people's children die?
Kids die.
Yeah. Why is this one woman just because she spit in Iron Man's face? He's like, I gotta make it up to her.
Well, I think
not necessarily other people.
In Tony's defense, I think the idea here is that she's keeping him centered on what his goal is, because otherwise, if she wasn't around, I think he would maybe come off as more villain-like and more power hungry.
It shows like what he's doing it for.
But with these signs, I think ground his goals into trying to make the world safer for people. If she wasn't around, we wouldn't get that.
Also,
I think she's poisonous. She's poisonous. After Goliath dies and Tony's feeling bad about it, she's like, Tony, don't feel bad. That cyborg acted just like a police officer would if some punk put a gun on him. And I'm like, fuck you, bitch. What are you talking about? Goliath wasn't doing anything. He was
she is very she is
fuck off.
She's very MAGA.
Yeah. It was a trap that was sprung on them because they were there to save people.
Yes.
No, she is very right-wing, Blue Lives Matter, Charlie Kirk wife coded. Yeah.
I hate this.
Also, this whole and I know the whole bit of why is it called 42 has to have some sort of conclusion, but this whole bit of him going do you know why we called it 42? Why are you fucking explaining it to this person? It's the I mean, I get it. It's just exposition, and we need to shove it in somewhere. But why? Why are you talking to this person about? Do you know what number 43 is? Cleaning up.
But my real complaint.
Oh God.
But this is my complaint. But this is my issue. So he says we jotted down 100 ideas, and we're not even at 50 yet. And I gotta buddy, after you come up with the ideas, rank them. Maybe think through which should we do first, which make more sense, which ones aren't a negative zone prison. And
maybe
don't just go
Shield should be number 3 or 4.
Yes.
43. Yes. After you've villainized all your fellow heroes.
But I feel like what these 3 dummies did is they just came up with 100 ideas and just went down the list without any kind of ranking or reasonableness test.
Maybe,
and that's
also, what was 41 through 41? I don't understand what that means.
Well, it'd be funny if 44 was
in there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, it'd be great if 44 was,
or is it number 42? Wait,
it'd be funny if 44 was just start a reasoned dialogue with everybody and see if we come up with a better solution.
Maybe let's talk.
Yeah.
Number 37 is talk to Peter after he wants to not be on my team anymore.
Yeah. Number 45. Idea 45 is don't put Norman Osborn in charge of the Thunderbolts.
Idea number 30, reveal Peter Parker.
They didn't get there.
Manipulate Peter into revealing his identity.
Well, so in Frontline, there's the last issue of Frontline reveals that Tony, there was a side story with Green Goblin, being controlled by Tony's nanites, and Tony had some sort of thing where he used Norman Osborn to almost start a war with Atlantis. It's a whole thing, and that Tony comes off really bad. Ben Urich kind of figures out that he set up basically Tony set up the entire Civil War.
That's idea number 63.
But it's really bad. I don't know. I still don't understand how they painted Tony as the villain, and then at the end was actually, he's got some good points. We're going to give it to Tony.
Also, again, I know you were talking about when I made fun of him calling Human Torch son. You were like, well, it's kind of he's becoming Captain America. But he goes, oh, the best is yet to come, sweetheart. That's a promise when he's talking to the woman.
Well, that's Tony's. That's Tony's.
And you're just
that's creep. That's creep Stark. Yeah. Can you guys hold on a minute, because I think I need to switch out my earbuds because I'm getting weird feedback. I'm getting a weird noise in the background. It just kind of sounds like, does this pass the Bechdel test? The Bechdel test. The Bechdel test. Does this pass the Bechdel test? The answer's probably no. This one doesn't, right? Does it?
No, it does.
Not really. I don't know.
Does it? What?
Yeah, there's that scene where Sue's underwater talking to that vagina man. Oh wait, that's a man. Sorry,
that's a man.
I feel there's one
thrusting his penis towards her. So
I feel there's literally one panel where Statur's leaving to switch sides, and Kate Bishop's like, "Seriously, Cassie?" And she's like, "Yeah, seriously." And that's the only time I can think.
That's I think the only that's the only interaction we get.
Yeah, seriously. Okay. All right. I'll take it. Passes. They're in a room filled with people. No, that's bullshit. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, before we end, another quick note about Tony being an asshole at the end. When he's giving that woman the tour of S.H.I.E.L.D., he asks Maria for 2 coffees, and she gives him this murderous look. Look at that murderous look.
She's like, guess I'm in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. Who was in line for the job? A woman? She can't do that. Oh my god,
she can't though. She's terrible. She's very
she can't. She's horrible. She's horrible. Specifically her, not all
women. This girl specifically chose her to be bad at the job.
Okay.
Also, the only panels in this entire book, Steve McNiven, that I don't like is when Sue comes back to read really bad drawing. I don't know what's going. It almost looks like Michael Turner, not Michael Turner. Who did Disassembled? Oh, Brian Finch. David Finch.
Brian
Finch.
Brian Finch.
David Finch, I think.
David Finch. But honestly, I was like, did he draw that? And then I was like, and then it went right on to the next panel. I was like, well, that's clearly him. Actually, that page in general is pretty weak. I don't know what's going on with that page. It looks weird. It doesn't look like the rest of the book. It's very, very strange.
Recommendations.
Okay. Recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go first. I do not.
Go, Patrick.
Shit!
We have a don't recommend.
Right out the gate. It's coming out hot with it. I'll go first. Fuck this book.
Okay. I'll go second. I do recommend it. I think it's compared to your typical crossover event, it's kind of a change of pace of sort of rather than a galactic evil thing manipulating events, it's an ideological struggle between heroes. I think it's a little bit more mature and gritty than your typical mainline event. And I think it's aged pretty well. I think it's interesting. It moves along each issue. There's a lot of action. Things just happen at a good clip. I'd recommend it. That's my recommendation. And good art. McNiven's great. Good artwork.
The art is good. The art is good.
He's good. I like it. Would I recommend this? I would say yes. Yes, I would. There's reasons why. And we kind of talked. I talked about it in my overall takes in the beginning. But like, I like the overall pacing as a crossover event book. This did feel like you could just read this without needing all the side stuff, and it moved along at a pace where I actually felt like you spent time throughout the different phases of what was happening without it being like too fast or just getting to action. Like I felt like you spent time with them being on the outlaws side, and then you know you kind of like for instance, Spider-Man's turn from good to bad, or like bad to good or whatever, like didn't seem rushed. Like it actually, like maybe within the context of the story a little tiny bit, but like, and there may be more nuance to the decision there, but like it was pretty much, it was seated well throughout. There's little things like that like matter to me in a crossover book.
Yeah,
but again, art was really good. I think Millar did a really good job handling all these characters, except for like certain key instances that we kind of poked at fun of him for. Yeah, but yeah, overall, I'd still say like it's worth a read in terms of like a seminal point in the Marvel universe. So like, if you wanted to like hit some high notes in the Marvel universe, this is definitely on there, and I think you could totally read this and not read all the side books, and you'd still get what you needed to get out of it. But yeah, I think I guess I'd recommend it. Although I do, even though I said I don't mind the ending, I do agree with you, Patrick, that the ending could use some fucking work. Like there's like
terrible.
It was very abrupt and like out of nowhere.
It's definitely too abrupt. I mean, if you agree with like who won or not, it could have been set up much more.
Yeah, maybe if they had like one more issue of like I feel like they started fighting and then instantly it panned out and there's just like burning buildings everywhere, and you're like, where in the fuck did that happen? That wasn't like, they were fighting in the street, but like I didn't see someone smash through the corner of a fucking building or whatever. But ultimately I'd recommend it though. It's good art. It's pretty good writing in terms of not necessarily specific characters, but pretty good writing overall, and it's worth a read.
Okay, so 2 recommends and 1 not. I think we did it. That was Civil War.
Yeah, I think we won comics for the week, boys.
Good journey, Couchers.
Goodbye.
Bye.